An energetic speaker for today, Dr. Lyndon Patrick A. Taibin.
I saw your topic. Actually, the topic was given to me a couple of weeks ago. And then the topic RH bill. The RH, there's something that I think is just a bill. And for what nangyayari, it doesn't really matter if we talk about it, if it doesn't get passed as a law. And we have to qualify first that if it is a bill, it is just a proposal. So it is just a piece of paper that needs to be deliberated. Then it hit me. I teach at St. Jude, I teach any M&M school. I always tell my students, since you will become masters in your own field, kayo na ang tatawagin as resource person in terms of, for example, crafting laws. So this is an ample time for the nurses to stand up and be heard in terms of the reproductive health bill. Kasi deliberations are now going on in the House of Representatives. Public consultations and public hearings will be held at the House of Representatives and the Senate. And the healthcare providers need to be heard. Yun ang importante. So I think your topic is very timely. And the nurses need to make a stand. Kasi you're part of the deal. You're part of the healthcare provider. And you're part of actually the bill that is being proposed. You need to know how it is, what the repercussions, and what needs to be done. Now my topic is the medical and legal perspective. Tinanggal ko din the RH bill and the package. It tells about socio-cultural, there are cultural perspectives to it. There are religious, especially, there's spiritual perspectives to it. Hindi ko na masyadong pag-usapan yung dahil nakabuhin na yung kasama. All of us have our own different faith, our own different religious beliefs. It's just a matter of us being healthcare providers and us knowing what the RH bill is all about. So, importante ngayon is the medical and legal perspective and how you nurses would react to the reproductive health bill. So, start tayo. I am more of an interactive type of speaker. I do not want story for 1 hour or 2 hours, how much or how long you want to talk. I want to hear your baseline knowledge. Kasi in teaching, the first thing you know is know where they are. Alam mo kung dapat yung pinaka-usap mo. So I need to know first where you are. So let's set things straight. As I said earlier, the RH bill is not yet a law that can be implemented. It's still in its trial stage. It's still under. Actually, there was supposed to be RH bill hearing yesterday. Hindi na tuloy. So there are a lot of contentious provisions in the law na kinokontra ng maraming tao, especially the Catholic Church.
Hindi ko na maigalaw.
The discussion right now is just for academic and research purposes only.
Wala ka sila
When you are called, the professors here, or administrators of the school, even the end users like the students, since you are all graduating students, I think, you are all graduating students in 1 year or 2 years' time, you will be nurses, and again, you will be back to tell your side of the story and tell your idea and concerns regarding reproductive health. Lahat ng dapat na ginagawa sa Pilipinas ng ating mga magiging at hindi magiging ng mga kongresista at mga senador has to have a constitutional basis. May subject yung constitution, diba? There has to be a basis in the constitution for you to start and craft a law. The RH bill itself is no exception. Kailangan yan ang nakalagay sa constitution, the basis for enacting a particular law. So sa state policy sa Constitution, nakalagay doon it shall equally protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn conception. I think 87 of the Constitution pero up to now, there are still no laws or there are minimal laws that actually protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn from conception. Now this is the medical qualifier that needs to be known. Ang problema sa constitutional basis na ito is the word conception. The problem is, what is conception? Why do we need to know what conception is? The debate right now is, before we start debating on the origin of the debate right now, the primary debate right now in Congress is, kailan mo sasabihin abortifacient or abortive or abortifacient or nakakalaglag ang isang method of family planning? When do you say it is against the law, or when do you say it is abortion, and when do you say it is legal? Nakalagay sa Constitution, protect the life of the unborn from conception. So it is the duty of the state to protect you or the people, you consider them as people already, who is still in the womb of the mother. Kasama yun sa kalakaran ng pagprotektahan ng Estado. Ang problema, when do you say is that there is already life? Bakit importante yun? Kasi doon wala naman kung yung mga IUD, discuss later, IUD, contraceptive, are actually abortifacient. Kasi there are two schools of thought. Sa medical dictionary, ang sabi nila sa conception of it, the process of becoming pregnant involving fertilization or implantation or both. Magkakaproblema tayo sa definition of all later I will discuss. Yes. Sa science dictionary, walang problema. Nakalagay ito, the formation of a zygote resulting from the union of sperm and egg. Fertilization itself, that is where life begins. Yes. So when does life begin? There are two schools of thought. Intindi nito, because this will be your moral basis in determining if what you are prescribing or what you are advocating as not family planning method is actually an abortifacient. So, dalawang schools of thought is yung una ko sinabi mo, yung masahin niya para sa akin life begins at fertilization. Siguro naman, mayroon ng child birth nyo, alam nyo na. Pag nagsama na ang sperm ng nanay nyo at ang egg ng nanay nyo, kayo ang lumabas. Diba? Pag nagsama na yung dalawa, you call them a zygote, yung sperm and egg. The school of thought na sinasabi nila, doon you call it already a human being. So anything that you do to disrupt this is called an abortion. Yun yung isang school of thought. So pag ang method of family planning mo is to disrupt or kill that thing that has been fertilized, it's considered an abortion. Yun yung dyan sa school of thought. The second school of thought, yung mga magagaling ng mga scientifico, ginawa kasi nila before, what if that fertilized egg, nilabas ko sa tiyan ng babae, anong nangyayari? Wala, hindi mag-develop, hindi mag-buhay. Of course. Ang sinabi nila, since pag nilabas mo siya, or maintain outside the uterus, it cannot develop into a human being. So meaning their school is that fertilized egg is not yet a human being. It becomes a human being when it is implanted in the uterus. Yun yung isang school of thought. Meaning, if your family planning method is aimed at the fertilized egg, it is not an abortifacient. But if your family planning method is aimed at implantation, yung pagdikit na ng embryo dun sa uterus ng nanay, that is considered an abortifacient. Merong chismis natin yung mga 1960s. The reason why the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology changed the status of their life is because that is the time that is the advent of yung mga contraceptive or family planning method. Nag-gets yung point, kasi naglabakasan yung mga IUD, naglabakasan yung mga contraceptive, naglabakasan tinitira ng fertilized egg or prevents fertilization. So, in modern times, for pluralized advocate, ang sinasabi nila, abortifacient siya. So, ginaan mo yung